Magis Day at the Neo Harters. I am Ken Isaac Boltiador, an alumnus from the Senior High School Batch 2022, and I am here to tell you one of the stories that is very close to my heart. It is a story that involved losses, a story that involves victories, a story that involves innovation, and a story that involves leaving this world a better place to live in. And so, allow me to share to you the story of LIGTAS. Before we get into this innovation and how this helped, let me tell you a story. It was March 2020 and all of us were very eager to have the year ended, especially all of us were already cramming our final requirements. But then a killjoy came called the coronavirus. The pandemic actually brought many losses, not just to businesses because businesses had to close down, or operations going to a halt in government or in business or many other things. The pandemic has also brought many personal losses. We are talking about losses of lives and us losing people that we care about. No one was exempted from this loss, from these losses, including me. There was a time back in June 2022, I think it was the last day of June and the first day of July, that we had a friend, someone close to me who was my neighbor. And this person was close to me because I was tasked by her doctor, because her doctor was in a work from home setting, to check her vital signs because this person had cancer. And that person, what was shocking was that this person did not know that she had cancer. It was only a secret kept to the children. But then things happened during the last day of June 2020. And because this person had complications, she had complications in breathing and at the same time complications in doing vital functions, especially getting up, and cannot even speak anymore. I still remembered that seeing that we were trying to call for help for an ambulance. We radioed in, we called, but then to no avail, no ambulance was available that time. And I made a decision as the responder on the scene that we had to get this person to the hospital because this person could have been saved in the hospital if we brought her earlier on time. But then she needed life support instruments to keep her vital functions running. We tried to do an IV, but then the nurse there on site was not able to do it because the patient's blood vessels had already collapsed and blood pressure cannot even be appreciated. And finally, when the ambulance arrived, the ambulance personnel told us that it's already too late. And so I waited by her bedside for that moment where she would pass on to the next life. I could see from her eyes tears flowing down as her kids and her grandkids said goodbye to her. And I was there, and it was a very painful sight. And a few days later, it was her funeral. She was buried in Cebu City in the cemetery across White Gold. And honestly, there was a guilt in me because I knew that if only we had helped her earlier, she could have been saved. That is why I knew from then that in every emergency, time equals lives. Time in every emergency saves lives. And I knew from then as well that, but then there are many similar cases that are happening. Many people could not contact an ambulance that easily or call for an emergency help because they didn't know how to, or the resources to actually know where to call or where to have the phone numbers of these agencies were not present. And that led me to build the LIGTAS app. The LIGTAS app is one of the things that I knew could help. It was the app I actually wished that was present before that incident happened. And truly enough, I can say that if this app was present by the time I responded to that incident, I could have saved her life. And so, what is the LIGTAS app? The LIGTAS app is actually an emergency services directory. So, it is basically a simplified phone book for emergency calls for fire, medical, police, and mental health emergencies. You can call for fire, medical, police, and mental health related emergencies and agencies. So this app actually was also designed in a way that even a child could use it. So we integrated the 5 tap system. So all you needed was 5 taps to actually use and call the app, call for help using the app rather. And the 5 tap system just has 5 buttons that you have to press. So you have to press the call for help button, the nature of emergency, the location, the agency, and also the contact number of the person we're talking about. And so how it started was that we actually had to design the project. As you can see in the left of your screen, you would see a flowchart, a bond paper, and you can see the very old logo of LIGTAS, which looks so Jejimon. And I know because I was the one who designed it. So the LIGTAS app flowchart was something that describes how would the app go, how would you integrate a service to help people. And I realized that I didn't want to complicate things because if I was in an emergency and I would be calling for help, I don't want to be overcomplicated with, oh, where do I find the emergency contact number for this? So it is an app that gives you the incentive on how to call for emergency in a much efficient way. So it is very simple to use. And also at the right, you could see me haggard as I was because this was during the middle of the pandemic on reviewing how to code. If you can see that book in the right side of the screen that I'm holding, and I know it's very familiar because it is our computer book. It was the book that also helped me put the platform of the app. I actually asked and consulted a software engineer on how we can build this app and turn this into reality. And so this software engineer named Engineer Caballes helped me build the platform of the app. And from there, I learned on the way and refreshed my mind on how to code it and actually got it to a point where after a few days, I was already the one building the app. And so on July 15, 2020, 1 month after that incident, when a person close to me lost, actually not just a month, around a few weeks after, the app's first prototype worked. And you can see the source code there. And I was very haggard back then. You can see the source code right there on my computer screen that the app was functioning. And so on July 21, 2020, we launched the beta version of the app, or the version of the app that is unofficially but needed, the unofficial version, but it is something that my team and I realized that we should give this to the public as soon as possible, because imagine we can save much more lives by this app. And don't worry, we actually did test the app, and we also asked my friends in Revo Cebu and also other key persons to test out the app. And so we launched the app via Weebly because we couldn't afford yet to put it into Google Play. And so how we settled down, we actually, our work philosophy in building this app was we have to take things slow, take things pragmatic, and also ensure that this app can maintain the quality. We assure the quality of service that we want to give to the Cebuano people. And so, which is why we coordinated with local government units such as Carcar City, the municipality of Dalaget, Argao, and other municipalities around Cebu. We also coordinated with the Philippine National Police through General Eleazar, the PRO7 through General Vega and General Roque. By then, they were the regional directors, and also the Cebu Provincial Police Office with Colonel Soriano, and also the Archdiocese of Cebu for the Cebu-wide implementation of the LIGTAS app. And so, fast forward September 30, 2021, we were able to launch the release of this app via Google Play. With the help of the PNP, we were able to make this app available Cebu-wide. So meaning, once you click the police button, all 56 local government units in Cebu, from even any local government unit within the province of Cebu, or the jurisdiction of Cebu itself, including Bantayan, Camotes, Malapascua, and others, are included in the coverage of the app. And so, if you would like to download the app, this app is listed as LIGTAS at your fingertips Cebu in Google Play. So if you would like to download it, feel free to download it if you are on Android. We are still currently working on the iOS version because Apple has a different coding platform that my team and I still have to get used to. And so we're talking about implementation here and key things, but then we had to also remember that we have expenses on how we can continue serving the Cebuano people with the app, which is why we had to explore sustainable income flows. So actually we can maintain the app and also our auxiliaries such as our website. And by doing so, how we were able to do it, we actually sold these two products. We have multi-tools that we can use for our that we can bring around every day. It is a knife, a saw, a ruler, a bottle opener, all in one, and it's just like the size of a card. And also to the left, you can see patches where we sold to Boy Scouts around Cebu and also around the Philippines for a price. And it's actually a limited edition one, and we are just not producing it as of the moment to ensure that once it is released, it can still remain its factor that it is a limited edition supply. And this is how we are sustaining the implementation of our app. And so how we are doing now, we actually we launched our website through Google Sites rather, and we have our own domain at tagaligtasph.com. You can see it also you can see also our marketing strategies through our Facebook page, Instagram page, and also our Twitter page, all with the tag at tagaligtasph. And so we're also double timing on our marketing and also our nationwide expansion. Ligtas Cebu, although it was meant to be just in Cebu, but then we have saw the potential that it can help more people around the country, which is why we had a nationwide expansion. I'm not sure if you could identify where these locations are, but then to your left, you could see Boracay. Last April 2022, or actually this year, we launched the LIGTAS Boracay app that included a tourist assistance hotline. And also to our right, you can see in the background Rizal's Monument, where LIGTAS will be launched in Manila. Hopefully by the third quarter of next year, LIGTAS Manila will be in full operation. So now, you beg the question, how did LIGTAS save lives? So LIGTAS saved lives by first and foremost, we really considered that it should be friendly to use, that even a child could use it, that the everyday person can use it. That is our philosophy. We have to make it simple, efficient, and easy to use. That is why we could see that through these pictures, people from all walks of life can use the app to call for emergencies. And by the numbers, we actually had 1,042 downloads via Weebly. So we had an algorithm that checked how many times it downloaded, including the updates, and that was 1,042 via Weebly. But then when we transitioned to Google Play last year, We already had 200 plus downloads. And as of today, 347 logged lives have been saved because of LIGTAS at your fingertips Cebu. And this is still counting. We are actually growing and reaching more people and helping more people because that is what we are all about. We're always here to save lives. And that is why we stopped staying within our limits and expanded. That is why LIGTAS is now known as LIGTAS Philippines, wherein it is a nationwide initiative that promotes the use of technology to save lives. And we are currently exploring more on how we can expand our call not just to an emergency services directory, but to other ways we can use technology to save lives. It has 3 operational mobile apps, with 2 in development and 4 that are pending, whether in design phase or also planning phase. And the LIGTAS at your fingertips Cebu is part of the LIGTAS Philippines initiative. So we are actually expanding it nationwide. So to share, this is the family of mobile apps. We have LIGTAS at your fingertips Cebu, LIGTAS Manila, and also LIGTAS Boracay. And you might see a familiar logo right there. And I know it is a very familiar logo because it is the logo of our institution. Coming soon would be LIGTAS Manila, LIGTAS Rizal Province, LIGTAS Bohol, LIGTAS Negros Oriental, and of course, LIGTAS Blueshield. And yes, LIGTAS Blueshield. This is the LIGTAS at your fingertips equivalent, exclusive for Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu. By the first quarter of next year, or within December 2022 to January 2023, LIGTAS Blueshield, Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu's very own LIGTAS app, will be launched and be ready to use to keep every Ateneo Hearter safe. So it is something that my team has worked on, and we also included key hotlines around the school so that you could use it. So we will be launching this app as soon as it is ready because we are making final touches to it before its launch. And so I acknowledge that we wouldn't have helped a lot of people and have gone this far if there were those who have helped us. And so I'd like to thank these organizations for actually being the helping hand to also helping LIGTAS become possible. So we have our school, the Sacred Heart School Ateneo de Cebu Leaders Council, the Boy Scouts of the Philippines, Revo Cebu, and also our corporate partners, RJC Shooting Range, and also DMC Busa Printers. These are the people these are the organizations and partners we had who helped LIGTAS through the years. And so we're talking about expanding nationwide. And we're also talking about how innovation can be a life-saving tool. And so to wrap up my talk, we'd like to talk about something about LIGTAS, on how we can innovate to help save more lives or to also make a difference in the lives of others. When you innovate, not only do you provide a solution to a problem, you add value to the things you are innovating. Because everything that we add value on, everything we invest our time in adds its value, which is why you have to remember to know where to add the value, to invest your time and effort in the right thing. You also have to remember that when you add value, it should be based on one thing, and that is love and service to one another. And so you have to remember as well that from the moment we are born, we are already tasked to become a blessing to others. That is the very essence of our lives. We are born to be there for each other. That is why I could really borrow something that Ateneo taught me through the years. And that is to take seriously the mission to become men and women for others. Because in the first place, that is the essence of our living. We are born to become men and women for others. And that is why we innovate. That is why we leave this world a better place to live in. And lastly, I'd like to share this thought with you. Memento mori. Memento mori is the Latin term of remember, you will die. And I'm not talking about in a bad way, because I know all of us have our things against death. But then the thing is, it is a beautiful thing to reflect on. That life is too short. Life will eventually, we may never know if we may be able to wake up to see tomorrow, or to be with the people we love, or to leave the world a little better than when we first found it. That is why what you have to ask yourself, how would I want to leave the world for the better? To do things and live in the present, to see what can I do more in the present, that not necessarily I'd be remembered for in the future, but because I have left a difference in the lives of others. How more or what more can I do? That should be the mindset of why we should take memento mori seriously. Because life is too short for us to ignore the needs of other people. Life is too short for us to ignore the pleas, the problems around us. And life is too short for us not to do something about it. And so, how would you want to live your life? Ask yourself that question. How would you want to leave this world a better place? Whether through it be innovation or being a good person in general, that is up to you. And that is how I want you to live your life. Live your life by leaving this world a little better than when you first found it. And so, thank you for listening to my presentation. And I hope that you continue to become a man and woman for others. Remember that anything that you can do, anything you do, will become extraordinary if you add a little bit of love to it. That is why thank you and God bless you. Always Magis, always Lux Oriens, always ad maiorem Dei Gloria.